This is my Kia K4 2025 GT Line Turbo, and I bought this car almost 1 year ago. When I first bought it, I wasn't really in love with it. This was a car to get from point A to point B. I had a Dodge Charger, fun car. The transmission blew up on me, and I just needed to get a new car and get a new car fast. And this was the best looking thing and the best deal that I could find. But that all changed one day. I was driving to work, early morning, just got out the gym. It had rained pretty heavy the night before, and sometimes that likes to open up the potholes and hit a pothole that's always there. It was normally not that big, but boom, smacked it, bent the front right rim, and there I was on the side of the highway, put it on the spare tire. So I knew I needed a new wheel. A Kia OEM wheel was running me almost $600. So a stock Kia rim was running me like $600. But aftermarket, you're paying 150, 160 a wheel. I'm like, I was already kind of thinking about it. So I pulled the trigger. I went with iodine wheels. They were a great price. Loved the way they looked. I used ChatGPT to help me out with the measurements, make sure I get in the measurements right. And it actually did it perfectly, like spot on, flush look, super excited about that. And once I saw those wheels, that's when I like actually fell in love with the car and I realized the potential. And that's when I started doing the research. And then the more research I did, I realized the secret gold mine I was sitting on. So let me tell you guys the little secret about the Kia K4. As I did my research on like what the possibilities were with this car, I came across that the Kia K4 is built on the Hyundai K3 platform. They both run with the Ks, don't get confused in that. But the Hyundai K3 platform also shares the Elantra, which has the Elantra, Elantra Sport, Elantra Inline, and most importantly, the Elantra N. So I started looking at the OEM parts for both. I bought the repair manual for this car with all the schematics and how-tos, and then I started comparing part numbers on the Elantra, Elantra N, and the Inline to see what the differences were. The parts look almost identical. They have the same base number with the last three numbers may be different, so that's just like the different specs for the different car. The thing that I've learned with engineer, as a person who's an engineer and has been in engineering for over 5 years on the manufacturing side, companies don't have enough money to make new things. They want to use as many parts that they already made over and over again. They want parts to be universal. So with these parts being universal, the car's universal. That's why they're all built on the same platform. It costs too much money to put every single car on unique platform. So as I looked into that, I realized there may not be a Kia K4 aftermarket, but there's a lot of similarities in the Hyundai Elantra in and inline aftermarket. And then when I looked into the engine, the 1.6 liter, now you're with the Hyundai Veloster, the Kia K5, the Elantra inline, the i30s. Like there's a lot of cars that have that turbo 1.6 in it, and this is the newest generation with all the improvements. So just to go over the list of all the upgrades I've already bought and the stuff I have planned, first were the wheels. Next up, tomorrow I'll be putting on the X-Force exhaust from Variants. Once again, I reached out to them. I reached out to all the companies pretty much, but I reached out to them, asked them, and I said, hey, I've been looking at the exhaust for the Kia K4 Turbo and the Elantra Inline, even the Elantra N, and they're routed the exact same. Everything looks the exact same. Do you think this will fit? They got back to me and they said, yeah, it should pretty much fit. You may have some hangers in some different places, but I think it will fit. And honestly, I don't think the hangers are in a different spot or is not in a spot that can't be easily modified. The only problem they said, which I kind of expected, they said are the tip. In the Kia K4 GT line, the exhaust tips, once they come out the side of the muffler, they take a 90-degree turn and a 60-degree turn straight down. So they just kind of dump out. The Elantra N has the single tailpipe that comes out the back, and then this kit turns it into two 4-inch tips. So there may be some interference with the rear bumper, so I'll decide if I'll go get it modified to have just the same turn down, and or if I will cut open a slit in the rear bumper. But I want to wait because Aeroflow Dynamics might be coming out with something. So they just dropped the front splitter on the car. I bought one from eBay for 50 bucks, mocked it up. It looked terrible. Didn't even want to install it. But just in time, 2 days later, Aeroflow Dynamics drops their front splitter for the Kia K4. So I purchased that. It's on pre-order. They ship out in August. And then I already have a rear spoiler. It's a little duckbill from eBay. This one, carbon fiber wrap. actually looks perfect. So I'm not gonna buy the Aero Flow Dynamics rear one back there. Unless they want to send me one that's also wrapped in carbon fiber, I'm super open to that. On their Instagram, they posted of them scanning the rear bumper of the Kia. So I have a feeling a rear diffuser is gonna come. So I wanna see what that's gonna look like and see where I can route the exhaust in that whole system. So of course I got the wheels. I have a set of scale suspension coilovers based out of Canada. They're one of the first people making a high quality pair of coilovers for the Kia K4. Once again, customer service was super nice. Reached out to them, had a bunch of questions, got all the questions answered, gave me all the help that I needed. So I got those ordered. They take 2 to 4 weeks to make. I'm running them with Swift springs, so that's gonna be super cool. For the rear, I have Megan Racing upper camber arms and lower toe arms. I have Powerflex bushings for the whole car, lower engine mount, upper engine mount, transmission mount, or rear sway bar, end links. In addition to that, I have white line front sway bar end links. They're pretty dope. I'm working on brakes. I talked to a bunch of different brake people. Only one person really got back to me with answers, and there's kind of two options. I can just go the brake rotors and brake pads route from brakeperformance.com. They have a kit for like $400. Or I've been in contact with, I think they're called Seika, Ceika brakes. They offer a lot of custom options. They send me a PDF back for me to take a bunch of measurements. And once I send those measurements back to me, they'll be able to make me a custom set of brakes for the front and the rear. And they work with the factory parking brake. So that'll be cool. There's not too much on the intake yet, which I don't want to touch because this is the new generation of the 1.6. So the parts may fit 85% of the way, but there's small details that are changed, like you'll see on the intercooler, the piping is switched on this new generation. So all the old generations and all the mods have the intercooler hot and cold side going through the opposite side. So the pipes are not the same. So I'm gonna wait till somebody makes that for this car. But yeah, those are all the mods I've either bought or have planned right now. I tinted the rear tail lights. There's a company called Slick Mod. They were all right. They weren't the perfect fit, but you really don't notice it unless you're looking for it. And then today I've been talking to N75 and Cherry Tuning, just reached out to them to see like, what are they doing with tuning? Where can I get the extra horsepower with? And they said, yeah, we're working on it. We're figuring out that may be the tuning option I'm gonna go. At first, I was gonna go with the Burger Motorsports JB4. It just felt like I was getting half the cookie and I want the whole cake. So we're gonna go with probably N75 or Cherry Tuning and tune the car via that. So there's a lot of plans that we have for this car, and I just wanted to make this video to kind of show you what I was thinking about. Nobody's really done it publicly yet, and I feel like this car is a hidden gem of a car. Like I said, it's based off the same platform as the Elantra N and the N-Line. So I'm taking the risk. I'm making the assumption that these parts are gonna work and these parts are gonna fit. And this car has just as much potential as an Elantra N-Line if you work it the right way. And why should you trust me? You should trust me because I am an engineer. I have my degree in mechanical engineering. I've been in manufacturing for 5 years, and right now I fix airplanes and I put them together. I did not go to school to fix airplanes, but here I am trusted to make fixes and changes and directions on things that impact people's lives. And you have to get it right the first time. And it's taught me how to do a certain level of research, documentation, asking the experts to gather as much information as possible before I make a decision. And that's taught me like such a great research skill. And I'm applying that same level and amount of research to building this car. It's something that's never been done before. This isn't an S550 where I can find 10 different YouTube videos installing the same part and I know it's gonna work. This is uncharted territory, and I'm willing to dive into that uncharted territory because I think this car has so much potential. So the next video you will see will be me tomorrow installing the X-Force exhaust. And then from there, we got all the suspension, the scale stuff, sway bar links, the rear arms. And then we're gonna get into the fun stuff. We're gonna get into the power. And the goal is to be the ultimate daily driver, weekend autocross, and maybe enough to get my SCCA or my NASA driver's license, my racing license. If I can do my HPDE events in this, that would be perfect. So this is just the start. That's my plans. I know it's outside the box, and I'm a top contributor in the Kia K4 Facebook group chat. I post about it all the time. There's a lot of people who just bought this car for the cutesy, for the get to A to B. Not a lot of people understand why you would ever want to modify this car, but some people don't understand that this is the hidden gem right now that nobody's really talking about, nobody's really doing stuff with. So I want to be the first person to do something with it publicly. So yeah, this is what I'll be working on. I'll see you at the next video when I install the exhaust. Thanks for watching. If you want to get the day-to-day updates, follow me on Instagram at @the_King George, TikTok, I'm the Life of King George, and then of course right here on the YouTube. Leave a like. If you're building an inline, if you made it to the end of this video, send me a picture, leave a comment, let me know where you at. We can make a group chat for the real builders so we can kind of share tips and stuff. Subscribe. That group chat, actually, that's a great idea. If you're building a Kia GT line turbo K4, we should make a group chat of the people who are like really doing the building, not the people who just like their car because they bought it. The modifiers, the engineers, the crafters, the mechanics. Let's make a group chat so we can all share ideas and help each other with this uncharted territory. But thank you for watching this video. My name's King George, and I'll see you at the next one tomorrow. Peace.